Hello, welcome to the queue. We've got our first YouTube game of 2021, and it's the BBR 4 version with some more of the rules. We're not going to use a couple different things that are still being worked on, but we're going to use some things or some rules that I'll go over here. You can probably see a full extent or a full explanation on Sireblood's channel. He's got a video out, and this is the remake of the map. I'll focus in on three areas. First is Turkey, and you can see Turkey is now split up into two zones worth 1 IPC each. The 8 infantry that were normally there are split up, and 2 fighters are added. Another map zone that changed is Mongolia. There is now the Mongolian desert, or the Gobi Desert, that is a impassable stretch that really prevents central Mongolia from moving down into China and vice versa. The addition here of 2 infantry, along with the restructuring of the country, and we'll look up here, this is the BBR 3 map, and you can see Mongolia was 6 territories and had 6 units, 2 infantry and 4 cavalry, and now has been reduced to 4 territories, but adding 2 more infantry, so there's 8 total units. The reason for that, I believe, is that Japan may now attack Mongolia without bringing in the other neutrals, and that is also a rule for Turkey. Japan, or not Japan, but well, I guess Japan. If Japan gets there, the game's probably over anyway. But Germany, Italy, Britain, Russia, they can all attack Turkey. Whichever side attacks it, if they don't take both territories, the other territory goes to the opposite side, and it does not bring in the strict neutrals as well. We will be using those rules. We won't be using the Greece rules, not Greece, Spain. Spain, basically the Spain-Portugal rule. Spain will be a pro-axe territory with penalties, such as if an Axis unit moves into Spain, then Portugal automatically joins the Allies, I think as a British power. So there'll be some, units down here in Africa, along with a couple territories, on offshore, there's an island, the Azores. I think that's a destroyer there. So there are some things, but we are not going to use that in this game, as I think it's still being tested, and there might be some changes there. So put that back on there. That's my printout of map 4, because I'm not at the point where I'm going to print a map, because it is still in the change process. So I know one thing, this lake right here, I think is in the wrong position. I think it's supposed to go from Kenya over to French Equatorial Africa. So I think it's supposed to go across there to keep the constant stream of railed units up into northern Africa. And then also too, Belgian Congo is now 2, so Britain can build a factory there. Well, then I guess this lake kind of prevents them from railing up into, no, it doesn't. 1, 2, 3, then to Egypt. So I think that's the idea, but then I guess they can still go around that lake. So that factory will still be able to get stuff up to Egypt. I think it just kind of takes away the Commonwealth from just spamming tanks and stuff up north. And the Commonwealth is one of the changes to map 3. You can see South Africa is part of the Commonwealth. Part of Canada is part of the Commonwealth. And the remainder of the Commonwealth is Australia. So I've put those roundels on there so you can see their territories, as opposed to the version 3, BBR 3 roundel that is on there. So while we're looking here, the yellow markers are the changes in IPC value. No sticker, 0. The money islands are now worth 2, and I'll say that they've been reduced, but Japan still gets their bonus in a different fashion, and it makes these islands individually more powerful than having all 4. And that is on the new card deck, which is not available yet in the makingplayingcards.com, but it is available on sireblood.com/community. On his website you can download, which is what I did, and then I just printed them off onto some cardstock, and I'll use this until, you know, a card deck's available. But on those islands, when Japan takes them, they get a national objective of 3 per island. So the net result for these islands, if you have all 4, is 20, just like as in the normal or BBR3 version or out-of-box version, where if you had all the islands plus the 5 NO, you would have yourself 20 points. So that being said, for Japan it is the same. For the Allies, it's a little less. Now Britain, even though this is reduced to, has been made up in other parts of the map. India goes up to 4. What else we got over here? Belgian Congo would be another one, so that's up to 2. So you can see some of the numbers. Gold Coast and Leon, both are points now. Sicily is a point. And what else we got here? This map that Lieutenant Dan made, they did a special Turkey expansion that they play. And I said, yeah, sure, throw that in there. So basically it's just 2 territories in the BBR4 map. So you got this one at 1 and this central Turkey, or I guess all this rest of Turkey is at 1. And then, you know, that would be a 0. And then that's where your 8 infantry and the 2 fighters go. The orange is marking some different changes in units. So instead of 3 in Iraq, it's just 2, and 1 of the units is moving up to northwest Iran. And in Egypt, in South Africa, they're switching the 2 infantry. There was, you know, Commonwealth into 2 infantry there and 2 British infantry down here in South Africa, so they just switched. And the tactical bomber is being moved from Calcutta over to Egypt in an effort to see about restoring a little bit of the Toronto option, and we'll see how that goes. France, each one of those countries, Normandy and southern France, has 1 infantry added to it, and they are removed from North Africa, and I think the infantry in North Africa is in Algeria, the one that's left. And looking around, Siam, as you know, is a pro-Axis neutral. And I think there's 4 infantry there. It's worth 1. I think if Japan lands there, it's basically removes the French Indochina and U.S., you know, not at war with French Indochina, not at war with U.S. There's an NO where you get 10 IPCs, and that just removes that. So there is that penalty there. And then I did show you that this is how my map's going to be for Mongolia, you know, the Gobi Desert, so you can't cross there. And then basically all 3 of those are 1 territory with 2 infantry there, worth 1 point, which is also new as well. You know, you got your cavalry on the ends and then 2 infantry up north. Japan, for losing Siam, is up to 8. It was, you know, a 7 in BBR3. So now it is up to 8. That gives Japan their starting income. And I believe that is it. Matt Todd is going to be our German and Italy player. He will be going here shortly. Russia and UK is going to be G.I. Joe. The U.S. and Commonwealth and Miners will be VK Cowboy, and I will be Japan in this game. So it will be kicking off here shortly. I'll build a playlist for it, and hope you enjoy watching, and keep rolling some dice.